Good afternoon and a very happy new year to everyone. This is our first community conference call of 2021. Today is January 7th. I am Rajiv as Khanna from immigration.com, the law offices of Rajiv as Khanna PC, and we do this call every 2 weeks. Today is a little bit unusual. I didn't have the time to read through the questions. I did glance through them in the last 6-7 minutes, so I'll do the best I can. I might go a little slower. I will not have time for new questions today. We'll just have time for the questions that are already posted. With that, let's get started on questions which I think are frequently asked questions. There was one that I marked as frequently asked question. This has become such a problem for people. So let's look at, first of all, what do I do when my parents are visiting and I apply for a tourist visa extension? Okay, so I had this discussion with somebody yesterday also. First of all, when somebody comes to the United States on a tourist visa or even a business visa, let's say they are here for 6 months, and then for whatever reason, they cannot travel outside the United States because of COVID or other health concerns, it is perfectly okay to apply for their extension. You do that using Form I-539 and you can do it online. As long as the application fully filled out with the proper fee is received by the USCIS before their current I-94 expires, that's the arrival departure record, the months they're allowed to stay here. As long as you get the extension filed, they are okay to stay here while the extension is pending. And often, almost invariably, the government takes longer to decide the application than 6 months. So typically you're allowed to ask for only 6 months stay. You ask for 6 months extension, but they will not decide your extension in 7-8 months or even more. Can you leave while the extension is pending? Oh, sure. Just make sure you keep copies of your receipt, copies of your application, so that when you come the next time, government doesn't create a problem that you stayed here illegally. Second question that I'm being asked quite often is that, what if I still can't let them leave? They have health concerns. Can I ask for another extension? The answer is yes. Ask for an extension while the first extension is still pending within the time that you have asked for in the first extension. This is important. The second extension should be filed within the time you have requested in the first extension. To give you an example, let's say your parents came to USA in September. You asked for 6 months extension that brings you to, let's say, December. As long as you file, not December, September to, make it easy, October to April, let's say. They came in October, you had applied for their extension before October, and in the extension, you had asked for 6 months, which brings you to the April of next year. You can actually file another application as long as you get it filed before April, which is the time you asked for in your extension application. Okay? So you can ask for another 6 months and another 6 months, and you can keep daisy chaining it as long as your initial request is not denied. Because if that is denied, then you have to leave within a reasonable period of time, even if other extension requests are pending. So the takeaway is you can file for extension while the first one is still pending. So let's see the exact question being asked for Sravan J. Okay. Mother-in-law arrived in USA Feb 2020, visitor visa. She was going to stay till August. Because of COVID, we are extending till Feb 4th. The case is still under processing. So she's over 62. You still don't want her to travel. So yeah, first question, can we apply for a second extension? Yes, you can. Can she stay? Yes, she can. What happens if she leaves? Just keep track of all the paperwork you have filed to make sure you can prove to the government that she was legally in the United States. She can leave before the biometrics. If rejected, how soon do I have to leave? Reasonable time. 3-4 days, 5 days, week, 2 weeks, even 3 weeks, depending upon what's reasonable under the circumstances. Staying beyond 1 year impact on the future visits. If she stays here for 1 year or 1.5 years, let her stay outside for at least a year. Otherwise, the government can refuse her entry saying you've been coming too frequently. This is a frequently asked question. Anybody has a follow-up question on this, what I just discussed, press *5 on your phone, please. Anybody who has a follow-up question, press *5. Okay, let's start from the very beginning, from the first question. 180-day portability rule. Is it safe to apply for a new job after 180 days of filing 485? Yes, as long as the jobs are same or similar, the fact that the final action dates are current or not current doesn't matter. If the 485 is validly filed, I-140 is approved, 485 has been pending 180 days, you can move to a same or similar job. Same or similar is important to remember. Promotions include same or similar. Make sure your lawyers assess that. But it's pretty safe. It's been done thousands of times. No problem at all. If I apply or change jobs with the above situation, will the intentions question during final green card interview? This is your right. It is allowed by law. I don't see any complication. Okay, unless your case has some issues that I don't know about. But as a general matter, this is done all the time. Okay, *5 if you have a follow-up question. All right, this is from area code 570. 570, are you Pennsylvania?
Yes, Rajiv.
Okay, sir, go ahead. What else can I help you with?
Good afternoon and a Happy New Year.
Good afternoon and a Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And this is a follow-up. So say like EAD and I get EAD and then after 180 days, and then if I'm not, do I need to be employed until I get a green card, or that doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. See, it's a very weird law. The AC-21 portability rule is very weird. It requires you to produce an offer of employment only if asked. Not even employment, but offer of employment. So let's say you 180 days period are over and you left the old job and you are hanging out, say sitting at home, I don't know, watching IPL leagues and Indian television, whatever you like. And 3, 4, 5 months later, the government sends you an RFE saying, we're about to adjudicate your green card. Please provide us an offer of employment. Now, at that point, you can find a job or you can find a job offer. And usually when they send you an RFE like that, they give you, I think, 87 days or 84 days to respond. So almost 3 months. Within those 3 months, you must procure a job offer. Okay?
Okay, so at that point, I should have a job, right?
A job offer, actually, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And then if I'm having EAD at that point, so do I still need a job offer?
Well, EAD and job offer. EAD is the right to work and the job is the actual work. So yeah, you need a job offer.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Thank you, Rajiv.
You're welcome. Good luck. Okay, so next question is, and I'm not quite sure. I'm a little embarrassed to admit. I know that when you do per country numerical limitation, I was actually about to write an article on this, and I have all the material. I just haven't had the time to go over it in detail. I know for sure that dependents are counted toward the 7% per country limit for sure. Are they counted towards the total 140,000 allocated to employment-based immigration? I think they are, but I could be wrong. So I don't want to be quoted on that, but I can be quoted on the fact that they go towards the 7% limit of the country. So, each country has a 7% limit. So the overall quota is 140,000 for employment-based applicants, right? And the first 3 categories, have about 40, 40, 40. I think it's 40,000, 40. So you get 40,000, 40,000, 40,000, and approximately 10,000, 10,000 for EB4 and EB5. But the law also says you cannot exceed 7% of the annual 140,000 for any country. I know that spouses are counted towards that 7%, but are they also counted towards the 140,000? I kind of don't remember. I think they are, but I don't want to be quoted on that. Okay? But I'll have more information on this as we go along. Now, I have it on my list of things to do. No worries. *5 if you have a follow-up question. And you also asked me if there's any legal challenges. You can't really legally challenge this scheme, but there are definitely two different versions of bills that are trying to take away these limits. None of those bills are really exciting. The Senate has a version, House has a version, but they're not really going anywhere right now. Area code 770, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Atlanta.
Good afternoon. How can I help you? Go ahead, please.
Okay, so my follow-up question is regarding the last response that you gave regarding that EAD thing. So now my question is that if someone is on H4, can any employer file green card application for that person? So now
hang on. I actually have a question like that further down. I looked at it briefly. Did you post a question today?
Okay.
Did you post it?
Yes.
I think I have your question, so wait for it. I have it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wait for it. No problem. Okay. Going on to the next one. How can I check to see if my I-140 and etc. have been revoked? You tried the FOIA. You know what you can do? If they say it's a duplicate request, you can narrow down your FOIA request to just I-140 receipt and I-140 approval. So just narrow down your FOIA request to request the government to give you your I-140 receipt, I-140 approval, and any requests for revocation and action taken by the government on revocation. You can try that formulation. That should work. You might be able to get a copy of your, if there is a request for revocation. Okay. *5 if you have a follow-up question. *5. Okay. This is again area code 770. I guess that's Atlanta. Yes, Atlanta, go ahead, please.
Yes. So can anyone request for I-140 roles and responsibilities through FOIA so that they can find the same or similar job in the future?
It's an interesting question and an interesting problem. Typically, government will not give you documents that are strictly of your employers and not necessarily yours. But in many ways, it is important for you to get that. Like you said, how do I know what is same or similar? Because I don't have a copy of it. So my answer to your question is try, it may work out. I have seen cases where they gave us copies of the I-140 package as well. Okay.
So will they inform the employer that
no,
the candidate is asking for rules and responsibilities? Okay.
No, I've never seen that happen.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Then the question number 5. This is from Ashok. Advanced parole impact on H1B and H4. This is a little complicated situation. And I'm not sure I have bright answers to all of these questions, but I might to at least the most basic ones. So you all know that if you have an H1, you're working on H1, you are not using your EAD, and you leave the US, say, on advanced parole and come back on advanced parole, as long as you take up the same job, you're considered to be still on H1B. Okay, that law is clear. Now, the questions that he has are, if I re-enter using my advanced parole, I can continue working for the same employer. What happens to my wife on her H4, H4 EAD, since I'm not on actually H1B? I think, and this is not defined anywhere, but I think she will continue to be on H4 and H4 EAD. I don't think it terminates her H4EAD. You can double check with the USCIS, call their helpline, note the answer they give you, date and time it. I think you'll be reasonably safe. Can she continue working on my H4EAD after my return? I think so. I think so. And I don't think that's unauthorized employment. Follow-up questions. Once I used AP, can I go out of the country, attend H1B visa stamping? Yes, you can. If I come back using AP, that I-94 is valid only for 1 year. Not true. That actually I-94 is considered to be valid as long as your applications are pending, you're on H4, etc. So that's just the convention that they give it to you for 1 year, but you are in legal stay as long as your H1 is still active or your 485 is still pending. One of the two. Okay. *5 if you have a follow-up question, Ashok. *5. Okay. Let's see where this question is coming from. Area code 704. Is that Nevada? Where are you calling from?
Yes. Hi, Rajiv. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Ji.
So my question here
No,
is,
first tell me, where are you calling from? I'm always interested to know that.
I'm calling from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina. Okay. Yes. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Yeah. So my question here is, so I have a valid H1B which was approved till 2022, but then I lost my job in July, and I had a grace period of 60 days, and I was not able to find the job within that period. So I filed for H4. Now, after the grace period, I got a job, and my employer has filed for my H1, but my H4 is in progress, and my H1 was filed, and it's been approved. So now the next question is, my visa which is stamped on my passport has the I-94 with the entry date, with the end date till 2022. Okay, and now my new H1 which is approved till 2023, and what my new employer told me is that I don't have to go to a consulate and get it re-stamped, but I will have to re-enter the country. I will have to re-enter US. So my plan was to go to Mexico and re-enter in a day's time, just to get my I-94 updated. So I just wanted to know, is that possible?
Yes, this can work. You actually don't even have to go for a day. You can just go to one of the checkposts that issues I-94s based upon existing visas. Okay. I know that one of such checkposts is located in Eagle Pass Bridge, Texas. What they do is, you go there with your visa. You don't even have to cross over to Mexico or any other country. You pay $10 and they issue you an I-94. Okay. There may be...
That is considered valid, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I am not sure if other posts are also doing it, but we have definitely sent a few people to Eagle Pass and they've done fine. Okay. So the Customs and Border Protection Post, CBP post at Eagle Bridge, Texas. Okay. It should work.
Okay. And this, as you mentioned, that the current stamp should be enough, right, for me to go and get it.
Yes, and you should make sure that they give you an I-94 till 2023, not 2021, because the I-94 they have to give you coextensive with your approval, not coextensive with your visa.
Okay. Yeah. I get that. And another thing what I wanted to ask you was, I will not have to apply for a tourist visa in that case.
No, of course not.
Over there with my current visa?
Of course.
I have to.
You don't have to. You should just be able to, you have an H1 visa stamp, which is still valid. Based upon that, you can travel in and out. But rather than doing that, you could just go to one of these posts, pay your $10 and get your I-94.
Okay, that's great. That's a great news. Thank you, Rajiv.
You're very welcome. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Oh, there's another question. Let's get that too. This one is from 570. Pennsylvania, right?
Yes, Rajiv, I have a quick follow-up question.
Yes, sir.
So, when you say that go to CPB at Eagle Bridge, right? Do we need to get an appointment or it's like a walk-in?
Okay, hang on. It's Eagle Pass Bridge. I'm sorry if I misspoke. Eagle Pass Bridge. And you have to look at their timings, and because of the COVID-19, you have to see what they are doing. But what I recall was it was an open port. You didn't need any appointment. You just walk in and out. But double check what their COVID-19 procedures are. You can actually Google that, and CBP procedures, they'll tell you what the CBP procedures are. Okay?
Okay, Rajiv. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is I-770 is, I think, Atlanta, right?
Yes.
Go ahead, Atlanta.
Regarding the follow-up question on the advance payroll.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the follow-up question on the advance payroll. So, like, whenever someone enters into the US with advance payroll, is it a good idea to produce advance payroll or the H1B or H4?
Dada, if you have an H1 visa stamp or H4 visa stamp, produce that. That is better.
Okay.
Bhalo?
Yes.
I can tell a Bengali. Right?
Yes.
Good luck, sir. Good luck.
All right.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I used to play the bansuri for Durga Puja, so I had a lot of Bengali friends. Okay, now let's go on to the next question, which is from Monica, question number 6. So, consequences of leaving USA with expired L2 and expired L2 EAD while 539 and 765 are pending. So, I can answer this question, Monica, in the context of an H1. And the laws are very similar, but I don't remember exactly what the government said about L1, L2. I'll tell you what the law is on the H1, H4 side. So, if you had an H4 and an H4 EAD pending, government says as long as it is just an extension, they don't mind if you travel. Your L2, your H4 and H4 EAD continues. When you get a visa stamp and come back, it might cause a little delay in your EAD, but it does not cause a destruction of your EAD. In other words, your application is not deemed to be abandoned. And you don't really need the 539 anymore because you've got a visa stamp, L2 visa stamp. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, does that also apply to L1, L2? I think it does. What I would do if I were you is, again, contact USCIS customer service. They'll kick you up to a level 2 officer, make a note of the date, time, and the officer you spoke with, and that should protect you sufficiently. I am eligible for Dropbox. I will get my L2 visa stamp. Okay, yeah. So it should be fine, Monica. You don't need the 539, and the 765 should continue. Okay. Star 5 if you have a follow-up question. Star 5. Okay. Let's go on to question number 7. I'm on H4. This is IT Pro. I am on H4 non-immigrant and unemployed. I'm not allowed to work until I get my EAD, H4 EAD. I filed I-485 employment-based adjustment as a principal because my priority date became current. I've also applied for I-765 EAD. Sponsoring employer has provided supplement J. They are going to hire you because you're currently not working. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Can I file EB I-485 AOS being on H4 as a principal applicant? Absolutely. We do it all the time. No problem. And even if you're out of a job right now, that's not a problem. Currently being on H4, can I start working once I get my I-665 EAD? Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Can I continue to remain on H4 status until my 485 is approved? No, because once you start using your EAD, your I-485 EAD, you're no longer on H4, you are on 485 pending what is called authorized period of stay. Okay, yeah. And so you don't have to be on H1 to get your green card approval. That's not a problem at all. Can you change from H4 to H1B? No, because if you start using your advanced parole, your employment authorization, your 485 based EAD, you will not be on H1B or H4 status. You will be on authorized period of stay. To convert from authorized to H1B, you have to get an H1B approval and then go get an H1B visa stamping. So you should get the H1B approval, keep it in your back pocket, and whenever things get a little better, you can go to Canada, Mexico, anywhere, India, Jamaica, Philippines, wherever you like to go. Get your visa stamped and come back on H1. Now you are back on H1 status even though you earlier used your EAD. So it can be always reconverted by stepping out, getting a visa and coming back. But get the H1 approval. Okay. Changing status, will it invalidate my 485? Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. Do I need to inform USCIS upon changing? You don't need to inform. It's already in the paperwork. Don't worry about that. Can I remain on H4 then move to EAD based on AOS? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Can the sponsoring employer withdraw I-140 that was approved more than 180 days? They can withdraw, but it shouldn't affect you. If they withdraw I-140 that was approved 180 days ago, oh, by the way, the law also requires that your 485 must have been pending 180 days if you want to take advantage of AC-21. Okay, so I want to discuss that with your lawyers. Yeah, we have a little bit of less time here. I can spend a few minutes, but I can't spend so much time on this. So the bottom line is that it is possible. Everything that you are thinking is possible. Just be careful about that I-140 withdrawal situation. Okay. Somebody from area code 770 raised their hand. So Atlanta, go ahead, please.
So, like if it is less than 180 days and the employer withdraw that I-140, so it will immediately invalidate the green card application?
I think what will happen is, see, normally the way the law works is, and I don't want to take too much time on this, I gotta move on. The law requires I-140 approved and 485 pending 180 days. Okay. If your I-140 was approved 2 years ago, 485 is just filed. Before 180 days of the 485, if the I-140 is revoked, they will revoke your your 485. Okay. So the I-140 must not be revoked until I-485 has been pending 180 days. Okay.
So, like one more question, that if I have the H4 EAD, can I continue to remain on H4 EAD status even though I have the adjustment of status EAD and work?
Yes, you can.
Until I get my green card?
Yes, you can.
Okay, all right.
Okay, good luck. Okay, let's go on to our question number 9. How do we find out H1 was revoked by H1 sponsor? Yeah, you can do a Freedom of Information Act request. Let's have you try that. So go to the USCIS, just Google USCIS Freedom of Information Act. Okay. *5 if you have a follow-up question, *5. Question number 10 is about starting a new business after I-140 approval while on H1B. You cannot. You can own a company as a passive investor. You can't actively work for it. So you can invest but not work. *5 if you have a follow-up question. Okay. Matthew wants to know about the citizenship process and request for diversity files from 2001. You did your citizenship past. They asked for 5 years taxes, got that. They also want my unsealed DV case from 2001. Okay, I'm not sure what the question here is. So I would advise you to get together with a lawyer and go over whatever the issue is, because this message appears to be incomplete. If you're on the phone, press star 5, sir. Matthew? If you're on the phone, press star 5. Okay. So this is not complete. Get together with a lawyer. Your question is incomplete. Next one, number 12, is impact of advanced parole on H1B parents, H4 children, while AOS is pending. So, using an AP does not invalidate your H1B or L1 or your dependents H4 or L2. You will retain that as long as your work conditions match those described in your H. What will happen to our H1 and my kids H4? See, if you travel on advanced parole and return to the same job, everybody maintains the same status. You don't need to inform your employer about anything or submit any documentation. If we are on parole status, do we need to use EAD? No. You can keep the EAD and stay on H1 yourself. By the way, what if your wife starts using EAD? Does that hurt your H1? No. If she uses EAD, she will be on 485 status. She will not be on H4 status. But when she travels and come back using her H4 visa, she will be back on H4 unless she uses EAD again. So that really doesn't bother you. Let her use her EAD. That doesn't concern you. Want to understand the cons of using AP on H1B or... Yeah, I don't see any cons, especially these days where visa stamping has become so difficult. And remember, you can always revive the H1 by getting a visa stamp and coming back. So it's not really the end of the world. It's perfectly reversible. Star 5, if you have a follow-up question. Star 5. Okay. Let's see what this question is. Area code 224, where are you calling from? 224?
Chicago.
Chicago. Go ahead, please, sir.
Yeah, just a follow-up question. So I'm actually interested in understanding one point here. Mm-hmm. Once I come back on AP, right, do I need to inform the employer?
No.
Or nothing? I
no,
can just keep
nothing.
quiet.
Yeah. Perfectly okay. You're not doing anything that changes your legal status. That's fine. Okay.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. Let's see. Question number 12, we just did that, right? Yeah. Question number 13. Regarding return ticket for B2 visitor visa. Parents are here. We are planning to get their visa extended. Is it mandatory to provide the return ticket? Not really. They can ask for it. So, and you can let them know we haven't finalized the date yet. And I have actually talked about the extension quite extensively as the very first order of business today. So if you go to the top of the recording to the very beginning, I have discussed this in detail. Star 5, if you have a follow-up question. Star 5. Okay. Let's go on to our last question. Oh no, second last question. Yeah, we have 15 questions. So the 14th question is, H1B and I-94 expired in December. H1B extension is pending. What if a new employer files H1B? If my premium application is approved and the regular is still pending. So you filed your H1B extension recently in regular processing. Now I got a new job. They would like to file my H1B in premium. If my premium is approved and the regular is still pending, can I join my new employer? Look, first of all, while your extension is pending, you can join the new employer as soon as your transfer is filed. Okay. If I join my new employer, my regular is denied, will it be considered a bridge petition? So interestingly, I had a case exactly like yours. My extension was pending. Our client, the employee, joined a new employer. based upon a transfer, and they filed premium processing. The old extension is still pending. USCIS gave me the H1 approval, but not the I-94. They said, well, he's got to go outside USA and get a visa stamping done. We filed a lawsuit against the government in Washington, D.C., saying that not giving me an I-94 is a violation of the regulations. Obviously, the government didn't think it was worth fighting. I got my I-94 within 2 weeks. So the government will say you're not qualified. Maybe a lawsuit will help. Otherwise, you'll have to go outside USA for visa stamping. Is it best to join new employer only after the first H1B is approved? Well, I think you could premium the extension. Once that's approved, then you could file, or you could even file an H1B. Well, I think it's better to get the first premiumed. That might help you, because they'll give you an I-94 in the second case if the first one is already approved. That is the smart thing to do. *5 if you have a follow-up question. *5. Okay. Let's do the last question for today, and we can take up new questions. We have some time. I have received my green card through EB3 in 2018. Family was in Canada. As per your suggestion, I filed AOS and consular processing for my wife and 2 kids. They got administrative processing. They've kept passports since then. They wait until the medicals expire and keep asking. I've approached US Senator, but no help. I think at this point, even though lawsuits are not very effective in these cases, at least it will jog their attention. So if you have tried already, Congressman, you can try, have your lawyer contact the consular section here in the USA. They have an email for lawyers, or maybe even non-lawyers, but that can be contacted. I forget what they are called. That would be the last thing you can try. If none of that works, try a lawsuit. They are never effective against decision making by the consulates, but at least it would jog the file. That might help. Okay. *5 if you have a follow-up question. *5. All right. Anyone who has any question, press *5. Anyone who has any question, press *5. I've got 1, 2, 3 questions. Okay, folks, I'm going to lock it. 4. Lock it at 4, 5. Okay. 5 questions. Nobody else, guys? Are you done? Okay. So I am going to go in random order. We'll just answer 5 questions, no more. Please don't raise your hand after this, okay? Thank you. So let's go with area code 206 first. 206, where are you calling from?
Namaskar, Khanna ji. मैं Idaho.
Idaho. Okay, sir. What is your question?
Question is, my son is on F1 visa. He never been to India for last 6+ years now. He got his EAD, but if he wants to travel back to India, what kind of visa he will need to come back here again?
Okay. So when you said he got his EAD, are you talking about a 485 based EAD, sir?
No, OPT.
OPT. So he will need an F1 visa stamp from India. Nobody can predict how that's gonna go. Okay. So my advice is don't travel. Okay.
And the follow-up but similar question is, how many days he cannot work? Meaning, if he doesn't get a job.
Look, I don't know off the top of my head. There are different periods for OPT and then STEM OPT. I'm trying to remember. I think it's 90 days and 30 days combined, 120, something like that. So 90 days for the first year of OPT. But remember, the first year of the OPT has very relaxed rules. Your job can be paid or unpaid. You can even intern. And you don't have to work full time. Even 20 hours is okay. Okay, so he could volunteer for a college professor helping them with research. He could volunteer at a non-profit in his own area of work. So he can do many of these things without causing any problem. Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck, sir. Area code 857, where are you calling from? 857? 857, where are you calling from? Okay, we're gonna skip this. Area code 408, California. Go ahead, please. Uh, 408, can you hear me?
Yes. Hello, Rajiv. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question regarding my I-140 that was approved in the month of May with my previous employer.
Okay.
And soon after, I changed my job after getting the I-140 details from USCIS through a FOIA request.
Okay.
So I just wanted to check if after my 180 days, right? So I've already completed my 180 days. I just want to check whether my I-140 is still active or it has been revoked by my employer. I tried to reach my previous employer basically, but
hang on one second. We have discussed this question twice today. If you listen to the recording of this call, it will tell you that probably the only option is filing a Freedom of Information Act request. So listen to the recording of the call, okay?
Yes, I did another request, but USCIS came back saying we have already given you the details in the previous question.
I have already answered your question. You're asking me to repeat myself and wasting the time. Okay. You were obviously not here when I answered because you have posted this question and I have answered it. I'm not going to repeat it. Okay. Good luck.
Okay.
Yeah. Area code 770. I assume that is Atlanta. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. So that my question was that being on H4, I have filed as a principal applicant, and for H1B for my wife, I have filed as a derivative. So the employer has also provided the supplement just so that I can go ahead and submit it. But as per their policy, I think that they after some time they also revoke the I-140. So like you said that will also impact. But the question is that like if they submit that withdrawal request before 180 days, but if USCIS process it after 180 days,
they can backdate it to the date of request. Be careful. Okay. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go on to area code 857. Last question of the day.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, sir. Sorry I was not able to answer during the first time when you gave me a chance.
It could be my error too. I don't know what happened. So go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for organizing this, first of all. I came across you from UDJ's YouTube channel.
Yeah, UD is a good guy. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. My question for you is, do you guys do H1B filing for us, for F1 students? And
yes.
And I also wanted to know what are the options.
Of course.
What are the options has startup founders, immigration options?
Well, you see, that's a very open-ended question. What are the options? That's like writing a book on immigration. But yeah, we do H1Bs. We do H1. We do all immigration filings. What you can do is, this something weird has happened.
Yeah.
I wrote an opinion for the Economic Times this morning, and I said that USCIS is trying to change the process of H1B filing to reserve H1Bs for only those that are the highest paid. And I don't think they are going to implement it, even though they are close to it. And I think if they implement it, Congress can reverse it, and also courts will reverse it, because it's an illegal step in my mind. And after the article was published, 2 hours later, the government said, oh yeah, we are implementing these regulations. So right now, the future of the H1Bs this year has become highly uncertain. We don't know how it's going to go. Personally, I think they are going to get sued. Right now, I'm sure there are 2 or 3 groups already preparing lawsuits against the government. Trump administration has lost over 85% lawsuits. Everybody who sues them wins. Okay. So bottom line is, don't worry about that part. Prepare your H1B application. Send me an email if you need our help. I am at help@immigration.com. Help@immigration.com.
Okay.
I'll be happy to assist.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, we can take them from there. But don't let this Trump tantrums distract you from the fact that this might all get reversed. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
For the startup, immigration and the startup founder, can you give me some of the options for that?
Are you saying startup as in starting your own company?
No. I'm part of a founding team for the startup, and I wanted to know what.
Yeah, you see, I don't think that's a problem because the government doesn't care whether you are a startup or an established company, as long as you can demonstrate that you have the work. Okay, so the emphasis is not so much on how many employees and how much money you are making. The emphasis is on, does the company genuinely have the work? Okay, so just send me an email. We can talk about it separately. I'll set up a call for you. You can have, we can talk one-on-one. I don't want to discuss that on an open line. That's a confidential thing. So we'll talk about it separately. But yeah, it is possible. In fact, we've done many startup companies H1Bs. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, folks, as always, I'm thrilled to talk with all of you. We'll talk again in 2 weeks. Have your questions ready. And be careful, be well, keep those masks on. Bye-bye. Every other Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we host free community conference calls. Everybody is welcome to join. Some people post questions ahead of time. You can take membership in our forums. All of the details are there on our website, immigration.com. You can take membership ahead of time, and it's instantaneous. It happens right away. And post your questions beforehand, or you can just log in. The phone number and all are provided: 202-800-8394, 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, every other Thursday. We have free apps for both Apple iOS platform for your iPhones and iPads, as well as for Android. Just look for immigration.com, the period dot, and the application should show up.